filled out and the signature. We do have a number of people here that are running for candidates that unfortunately didn't get to us before our deadline for this. People are Paul Moreno, 17, House District Services. Okay, so to be totally fair. Okay, so Ted, we're going to allow the candidates 15 minutes each. I will be timing the governor and why you think he would be the best governor for Oregon, and we'll do that in the audience. So I hope you guys find it information. Okay, so first one's first.
I want my state back, and I think a lot of for what I want my kids to have a house with a yard for my grandkids to play in. We could do. I had the honor and I jumped at the opportunity to lead the volunteer effort for the transportation tax and prove to the governor that wasn't a fluke. We have another tax that she's brought. HR 1, Trump brought us billions of dollars in tax breaks for Oregon citizens. I thought that was great. I celebrated that. Governor Polk says, no, I want those taxes back. So what she did is clawed back several of those accelerated depreciation rates for businesses. Allow you to get a tax on the November ballot, and you can be accountable for this vote. So I'm hoping that everyone can sign that referendum attention, and we're not going to take this anymore. We're not going to take a governor who is operating in open defiance. There's three others there as well. We have limited reverse a lot of the catch and release policies that were put in place a few years ago, and then another one called Vote Before Tolls. Those are four great petitions. So hopefully you can all sign those before you leave today. My Cadillac. My dad was a logger and a truck driver. My grandpa, one great in the world. I also grew up in a frontier area far away from. I received a scholarship to go to Stanford University. That's where I met my wife, by the way. And had the opportunity to study engineering. I have a bachelor's and master's in mechanical engineering. And we decided to move to Oregon. This is where we And I started a business a few years ago. That's all our controls. Lots of sawmills. I've worked in sawmills all over the world, but a lot of them in Oregon. And a lot of my customers are gone, and that's one of the reasons that I'm running. But that background and experience of building a business from scratch, I left a good job. I sold a car. I leveraged my credit cards. But we did it. We built it. It was a dream, and built it up to 100 employees. Oregon, but in Washington and North Carolina. And that experience as an executive, we have a governor who does not appreciate business, and it shows everywhere I go. I've traveled all around the state. We have businesses leaving Oregon, and when they leave Oregon, they're taking good paying jobs. Portland, economically, what that means is tax rates to get some relief on some of the rules and some of the permits that they have, and the struggles that they have, the system development charges that they face. And they can't get an audience with Governor Kotek, but they get an audience with Governor Greg Abbott in Texas. And that is a shame. And I can guarantee you, as the first governor that a business person calls and talks to will not be the governor of Texas. It will be the governor of Oregon. But unfortunately, every state agency, by fund and sub-fund, can understand exactly where all that money is going for teaching our kids. No. We're spending some of the highest amounts in the country on education, and we get some of the worst results. Yeah. Oregon, a couple years ago, we had to have a bill in the legislature Oregon spent millions of dollars to teach teachers phonics. They never learned how to teach students phonics. And we wonder why we fourth grade reading levels. I'm committed to restoring that and just restoring basic accountability and common sense to the education system. It's not only that agency. I've traveled all around the state complaining about ODOT, the DEQ. We have agencies, after 40 years of one-party governance, there's apathy in those agencies. They are no longer accountable to the people they're supposed to be serving. That will change when I'm governor. We will, when I get through the primary, we're going to be identifying new leadership in every one of these agencies. Some of them are fine, but most of them really do need to prod inefficiencies and make sure everybody in those agencies is aligned on the core mission. And if you're not aligned on the core mission, you will be free to find another career somewhere else. We need them aligned on that core mission. We can cut government spending. We can cut government spending if we do this the right way. And we can have agencies, instead of a DEQ that is blocking the ability for people to just dig a hole on their own property. We will have an agency of yes. How do I get to yes? I want clean air, I want clean water, I will have common sense standards that are typical for other states, but I will work with you to get to a yes. We will streamline permitting, to have a permitting dashboard, so there's delay in a project due to rules or regulations or permitting. Those projects show up on my desk. Other states do this kind of thing. Oregon doesn't do it. It shows up on my desk, and we figure out how to make it happen. That's what we need to make sure we have businesses and good paying jobs continue in this state. I'm also on affordability. I'm committed to tax cuts. Governor Kotek is looking at every opportunity to raise your taxes. We've been successful fighting a lot of them in the legislature, but they're going to come back, and they're going to come back, and they're going to come back. I will cut your taxes. I'm committed to repealing the hidden sales tax, which is the corporate activities tax. I'm committed to freezing property taxes for senior citizens. And I'm committed to eliminating the death tax. We have the most punitive death tax in the country. Let's just get rid of it. But that's just a start in rural areas. I'm committed to unleashing the natural resources we have in the state. We sit on it in a way that benefits us and future generations. And that includes timber. We can harvest timber. We can bring good paying jobs to rural communities. We can bring revenue, tax revenue to rural communities. And we can have healthy forests in the process. I live in the San Diego Canyon. And it's one of the reasons I'm running. We were devastated by that. And he was a business guy, by the way. And he came in during the time of economic instability. And he turned things around and he restored it. I am committed that brings those jobs back, brings education. We should vote. I will focus on the issues, like we've talked about, that now more than ever unite us as Oregonians across the urban-rural divide. And I will remind voters every day between now and election time what Governor Kotek did and how she defied the will of her own people to appease her special interests and ignored you when she rammed it through anyway. That is unacceptable. I'm in a unique position to do that, and I cannot wait to be your next governor. Thank you.
I'm going to start the timer because 15 minutes seems like a long time, but I'm sorry that you're going to sit here for 45 minutes for our introduction instead of every single candidate is for this race saying, hey, are you going to run? In my life. And I can tell you, as an Oregonian that grew up in this vicinity, I've seen some hard challenges because of her disability, watched her navigate an addiction issue, and I have survived a lot of things that Oregon has thrown at me. I've risen to I'm not afraid of the status quo. I'm not afraid of the name calling and all the things. My husband, I owned a business before I was a commissioner for 12 years. I've run a chamber of commerce. I've worked for Democrat governors in the past because I can work with anybody to do the right thing. My community, increasing public safety, stabilizing industrial businesses, focusing on agriculture and rural economies, thrive as a human in a space of humanity. And I don't get to do that in Oregon. We've alleged 6 years as a county commissioner. People die in my streets, veterans that need care, seniors that need transportation. They should be listening to people like me who are elected at the local level to serve my neighbors. But instead they play politics. They're worried about what's happening on the national level more than they're worried about what's happening in their neighborhood. I'm sick of it. I've spent a year transitioning around this state, talking to Oregonians. I did a business plan before I decided to run. I spent a substantial amount of money to find out why Oregonians are voting. And then I showed up in their neighborhoods and in their communities and asked them why. What do you need from a leader? What do you need from somebody that's going to show up? The tug of war that we have going on in Oregon has got to stop. The dissatisfaction that we all feel on both sides of the aisle, up in Portland, Eugene, downtown Salem, and have conversations. I hear them, I understand them. They're compassionate most often. Sometimes things can be better. It turns out they're surviving too. Served. I understand how systems work because I deliver stories of my life. I'm not joking you. Antifa followed me home. My kids were harassed. My husband's business, they tried to dox it. We've survived it all. I understand why schools don't function well today. We don't respect teachers. Parents are lazy. There's a disconnect between responsibility and ownership. Partner, they're a threat. Superintendents and school boards exist for a reason. They are disrespected. Also, Brown and Kotek are not licensed educators. No one of our systems are family. We don't have anybody that shows up and brings people together and willing to have the hard conversations. We have too much division. That includes in our schools and our classrooms. I understand why teachers and unions say the things that they say. Do I agree with them most of the time? No. But I do understand workings. Not the same community, not the same funding, not the same culture. We should allow local control. Government should be run from the bottom up, not the top down. We shouldn't have oppression and compression. We should have partnership and balance. The systems can be more affordable. We do not need 6,000 employees at the Oregon Health Authority. Turns out counties and the local mental health. As a Marion County Commissioner, I have a unique experience of also being a city councilor. East Salem has over 40,000 people that live in an unincorporated area. All the things. I was gifted to be asked to run in this role as a commissioner and do the learning that I've done over the last 6 years. It set me up for success to be the governor. Why anybody would want this job is beyond me. But it's a job that I can do, and that I can do for every single one of you on day one. There's not a single question you're going to ask tonight that I can't answer. I'm already working on stewardship agreements for timber harvesting in Marion County, Curry County, and Coos County. Why am I working on Curry and Coos? They don't have the resources to foot the NEPA, the environmental study. They don't have any contractors down there. They need a partner. The state should, Polk County doesn't have all the infrastructure engineers that they need to get systems done. You know who their partner is? Marion County. I believe in partnership. I'm already executing that today with real life, real lived experience. And I do it within the means afforded to me by the taxpayers in my community that we listen to. Measures 5 and 50, there's not a single city and county in this state that's going to survive past 2030 without a real conversation about what essential services are and what Oregonians expect. I'm up here and somebody that delivers essential services today and understands the differences between all of those agencies, state, county, city. I am so desperately passionate to change the direction of Oregon. I'm running for governor. I'm sacrificing my family time. I'm a mother, a grandmother, a wife. I was a volunteer, but I had no time to do that. And compassionate people that want to help.
I get that people think that you need to have certain types of experience, but if anybody took a basic civics lesson and understands the three branches of government, I can tell you I already work with the executive branch. This campaign is a promotion for me. It's not a cross the lane jump into one industry from the other. The governor needs to be able to show up and be a partner to cities and counties. The governor needs to understand the agencies, the assembly economy. Marion County is the only county in the state that offers rural tax exemptions for industry partners that want to grow jobs and expand their businesses. Why isn't every county in Oregon doing that? Well, they all have a lot of challenges. Not all of them can forego that tax revenue. But if you understand the long game and the marathon that we're running here in this state and our economy instead of the sprint that it should be, you have to make thoughtful decisions and creative solutions. May 19th is coming pretty quickly, and we have to make a decision. While it's said that most of us Republicans agree, there are things that I don't agree with my opponents on. I firmly believe that I can beat Tina Kotek in November because I'm the only one that can show up in the room and talk about those issues that Democrats care so most about. When they learn about the life I lived and the damage that they did because of their votes, they take a pause and go, oh, I'm not afraid or ashamed of the life that I've lived and the decisions that I've had to make because of where I came from. I believe that we should reduce shame in this state and create opportunity and invite everybody to the table regardless of their circumstance where they're starting from. And I believe by you electing me to do that proves that you want a true Oregonian that is really bootstrap life across the finish line to produce results for people. And I believe that I can serve you the best in this race, and I hope that you'll vote for me. And I look forward to your questions tonight. Thank you.
And next up we have David. And David has graciously allowed to shorten his time so that we can get a statement from the two other governor candidates that are here, which unfortunately we didn't know about ahead of time and we weren't able to mix them into the programming. So I appreciate his generosity.
My opponents here in the race, and you're okay too. Not to Oregonian, and I love this state. I want to raise my future family here. I want to continue doing business. My parents were married for 53 years. I was number 9, so I was kind of that kid that they just threw food to and told me to, go play. I'm just kidding. My parents were awesome. They made me who I am today. And my mom passed in 2024 from a heart attack. And I would be remiss to not mention her because she's made me who I am spiritually today. She's just an amazing lady. She never complained. She had a bunch of health problems. Never complains with Jesus. So let me tell you a little bit about myself, because I know you guys have been in the Facebook circles, and oh my gosh, how many of you just can't? I'll tell you what I want to do for you. So I graduated in 2017 from George Fox University with a major in executive leadership and business management and a minor in marketing. I went to BCC in Chemeketa before that, played basketball at both of those schools, and so local boy. And after graduating from George Fox, actually leaving, so important in my life. She goes to Sherwood High School. She plays lacrosse. Her name's Savannah. And at 2 years old, I took custody of her, and her other parents didn't want to be in her life, battling some issues of her own. And so I took custody of her and raised her mostly by myself her whole life. And so I'm proud of that. Worse in every single aspect, education, the economy, every single year. And, I'm not here to be divisive, but we have to be honest about where our party's at. I looked at our Republican Party and I said, man, there's a lot of great people. Started a movement online. It was originally called Oregonians for Trump. Because I wanted to find something to unite people who were just tired of the nonsense from the left. And so over the past several years, we were able, through hard work, I with creators like Benny Johnson and David Harris Jr. and Chad Prather, and I was just so blessed to be around the most brilliant minds. I extracted everything I learned from those people and those groups. Activism. I was on the front lines during the COVID tyranny. How many of you remember the COVID tyranny? Can you believe people have not been held responsible for what they did to our kids and businesses? My goodness. And this is why I'm excited about running. I'll get to that in a second. But I was on the front lines. We did events all across Oregon. We were doing outreach. I've been in this fight for a long time, you guys. I started a business, Ease Marketing Group. If you guys go to easemarkgroup.com. I specialize in marketing and media management, online content for clients. And so small business owner, I feel the taxes. And we have 3 employees from here to Florida. The one in Florida works remote and helping them fight the good fight across America, as well as here in Oregon. So we were successfully able to grow our online presence and our outreach to over nearly about 500,000 followers across all social media. The biggest political following Oregon has ever seen. It's the biggest, and I know some of you aren't online, that's okay. But we've been in the fight, and people have been responding. And you always hear, guys, one thing about our side is we have better ideas for the family. We have better ideas for education, for the economy. There should be no reason why we are allowing the Democrats to bully us in this state. So I think it's about time that you get a leader in there that's going to fight for you unapologetically. We have Democrats fighting with in Portland. It's not just Republicans and conservatives. We should be done apologizing for our beliefs. I don't care what they call us. We are the better side. We are the better side. The last few years, getting people activated. We've reached people over what the left's given us. Tired of these taxes. I've had a lot of Democrats tell me in Portland, even people in the control of the agenda that they're pushing on us. I mean, guys, we are not alone. This could be our year if we do it right. And so here's what I want to do, because I'm going to give the gentleman back here. You guys can make your way up here just so we can keep it quick and crisp. Here's what I want to do. Here's my plan as governor. And if you go on my website, you can go down the list of priorities and my vision for Oregon. But first of all, folks, we all know the issues. We all know control. We all know that education is a disaster, folks. But here's the thing. None of that changes unless we actually end the corruption that's within our government right now. Every single cycle, our party will get it working for you again. I want to put Oregonians first again. One of the things that ends under my administration is not one more dollar to anybody except getting up here. Not one more dollar. That hard and simple economics. We get bureaucratic bloat out of our government.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a 10-year Navy and a new grandfather, by the way. Yay. So I have some serious skin in the game for the state of Oregon recovery and education. As you can imagine, with that great workforce education. Okay, well here's the key. These jobs have to be AI-proof. Just repeated here. I took Arkansas from down the bottom 5 to the top 3. I was a teacher because I had the time. I want to see what's going on from the inside. What I learned is that $19,000 a year they spend per student is not going to the whoever's been stealing from Oregon is going to be, well, we're not going to make them famous. We're going to make them infamous. That has to happen. This opens up the door for timber, oil and natural gas, coal, and minerals the state is rich in. The resources goes into the treasury. That money literally replaces our taxes. All the taxes. Not just some of them, all of them. I get tired of the nickel and diming stuff. No. We can eliminate income tax. We can eliminate property. Legitimate. Because Lord knows a 50% increase every year, regardless of your improvement, is not a legitimate way of value. I'll need more time to explain that. So very simply, I have a number of situations where we can fix this state project. And I just got word about a week ago that happened. Wasn't it? Want them to be happier, more successful, better, bigger. If they are, they drag us right along with them. So these are things we need to be most concerned about. Our economy is driven into the ground, intentionally. The other thing I'll be doing is anybody in support of China in any capacity in the state. So, with that said, thank you very much.
Hey there, my name is Brad Peters. Isn't it amazing? Here on the other side, I'm not really sure what they're going to come to the stage with. This is going to be an interesting discussion. So I am day out, and it's really the system that we have set up here in Oregon. It's almost like we are being regulated out of people here have land, right? I have 7 acres about an hour north of here, which I have spent the last house with kids, with livestock, well, chickens, will be fair. but I'm here in front of you right now. I only have a couple of minutes, so I'm going to keep this very, very brief, and I appreciate your time, David. I believe Oregon, I believe the nation is in the midst of a technological transformation. Key areas where Oregon is messing up. Thank you. One of these, I believe that it is time for Oregon to have once to start a business, they have to seek permits. Permits here. In It's incredible. I proposed an incubator that flips that around. I would for 3 years get that business up here, drug use all over. Approximately, so I did a deep dive study and posted. I do a lot of social media as well. You can check me out on YouTube at Brad Peters Full Bar. I posted a video just recently where I deep dived on the cause of homelessness and drug addiction. 50% is due directly to the price of housing. Permitting is about between $100,000 and $120,000 just before you can put a nail in a house. I just went through this. I just finished a house, so it's ridiculous. And then I have stuff there. We're in trouble, Oregon. A lot of us have ideas. I appreciate you coming out here, and I appreciate your time.
Dumpster fire that we currently have. If you start filibustering, then we're going to put a fire on you.
I work with everybody, and I'm more business oriented. And then there's the socialists. And it's a growing number of socialists, and they are very loud and active. Some of the moderates in that building, some of them. But I will look to find coalitions. I have veto authority on legislation. I have no problem being the first city governor to chief petition measures and bring it right to the people. I know that the Oregon people don't want foreign adversaries owning farmland in Oregon.
So I've had the opportunity to work with the legislature. That I believe in seeing the person in front of you and understanding why, as far as how to execute systems. During the 2024 legislative session, I was the president of the Association of Oregon. 24, I had the blessing or the curse, depending on how you want to look at it, of spending a lot of time with some really good path forward. And Marion County, on the program that we had in Marion County, we scaled it statewide. We brought all the counties to this locally driven program that the legislature said yes to. Is it everything I wanted? Sometimes they go to jail, but mostly they go into treatment. We want the same thing, it's just the path to get there. Sometimes it's more extreme for her or more extreme for me, depending on the direction and the policy. Ben Bowman, he's the House leader, Democrat. We did not agree at first. We don't agree on education at all. But we agree on civil commitment. We agree on safe streets and public safety. You don't have to agree with them on every single relationship. Their character matters just as much as mine. Thank you.
You know, I wish I had, I mean, this is nothing against you guys at all, but I wish I had the optimism because know the fight we're not a lot of people, a lot of politicians today, again, not towards you guys. I know I'd say this generally, it's not towards you guys. But I just don't think a lot of people know the fight that we're in. And the enemy that continues to pass laws and bills that homelessness and drug crime vote for. It's why we lost in 2022. We didn't have a clear message in that governor's race. I'm sorry, we didn't have a clear message. Our message was almost similar to Kotek. I was hearing it from a lot of non-affiliated voters and Democrat voters in Portland. They're like, what do you about our messaging? We need to be clear about what we're offering as a party. And so the way that we work with these people, first of all, as governor, yes, absolutely, I will never sign a bill into law. I will veto every single time if it doesn't put your interests first. 100%. The other thing, too, is we have to strengthen our party. We have to strengthen our party. And I don't know where Uncle Phil's $8 million, $10 million is going. I mean, I thought Phil Knight was giving the Republican Party millions of dollars, yet we had 12 vacant seats this cycle. How do we have 12 vacant seats? How do we have people not ready to work with the other side? I don't think we really can. So what do? You guys remember what it felt like after 8 years of Obama? I mean, the disastrous Obamacare should have just came with automatic counseling for all of us having to go through 8 years of the apology in chief. But do you guys remember how hopeless it felt? We felt like Hillary was going to win that election. Even I thought, I was on my couch, I was like, yeah, Hillary's got this in the back. The polls were all saying that there's no way Trump's going to win. And then all of a sudden, something happened. President Trump won the election. And the people. You increase transparency, just like President Trump showed us how to do. and actually get correct information to people. I think if you do that, you strengthen the party, and be excited about, I don't think you're going to have to worry about working with the other side that's hell-bent on destroying our Constitution and destroying our unconstitutional. Think of our working in good faith with what we've seen in Oregon.
So I'm going to start with Ed. As governor, how would you